There are many things you can't control in Escape from Tarkov, but one of the things that you can control in Escape from Tarkov is the actual map that you decide to play. I'm going to give you a list of Tarkov maps that, in my opinion, you have the highest chances of surviving from. So we're going to go from the easiest to the most difficult, or from the highest chances of surviving to the lowest chances of surviving. Now this might change depending on when you watch this during the wipe cycle, but we'll caveat a few of the selections. And another disclaimer, Streets of Tarkov is not included because it's the newest map of the release. I haven't quite played it a lot, so I haven't formed an opinion to where that would fit in the list, but let me know in the comment section down below what you think. The easiest map to play is Customs. Mostly, you're most likely to encounter low-level players unless you go to the dorms area or you go to the skeleton area. There are also fewer player scavs that actually run Customs, and Customs is visited a lot during the early wipe, so if you're watching this mid-wipe, you'll probably be okay. Also, because you'll know where the quests are, you can avoid those certain scenarios. The second map is Woods. Woods because Woods is really extensive, and also Woods is really extensive, and a lot of the players play stationary. So they're trying to do a lot of sniping exercises, or they're right in the middle of the lumbers or in the houses right on the top of the map. But because there are many routes and many ways you can actually get to point A to point B, in Woods you can actually avoid a lot of encounters. And also there are very few player scavs in this map, so that influences a lot. So there's a good chance that you get through Woods without encountering any players. This map here is one of our favorite maps in Brigata, Shoreline. Again, Shoreline is very open like Woods, not that many player scavs, and if you avoid the college areas, the area in the middle where a lot of PvP happens, you should be okay. There are a few hot spots that you need to be aware of during the map, but if you play it a few times, you'll figure out how to actually avoid them and how to get around. Now Interchange, where it gets a little bit more complex. Interchange is formed with this big shopping mall in the middle, and then there's an outside area around the shopping mall. Now in the shopping mall it's quite extensive, it's quite big, and there are areas that are less traffic in terms of the PMCs, but the PMCs that you do encounter are around mid-tiered PMCs. So you can sort of avoid combat if you want to. You are most likely going to encounter some level of PvP. Player scavs come towards the end of an Interchange raid, so they might be a problem, but you just keep an eye out of it. But at this level, you are guaranteed to run into some PMCs. Map number 5 is Factory. Now, Factory is the smallest map out of them all. It's all within inside the same building. There's two areas basically. There's an upstairs area and there's a tunnel area, let's say. Now you are going to run into players for sure, and you're going to really run into them in the first 2 to 3 minutes of the raid. So if you play that slowly at the beginning, then most of the PvP will already have happened. The bigger players will be against each other, and players really exit the map early. So there's a window between the 3rd minute and the 8th minute where you pretty much can go around the map without encountering too many players. Be careful because towards the end a lot of scavs enter and it becomes really difficult to exit because you only have one main exit, which is the gate 3 exit, and that is you'll find a lot of players trying to get there. Although the scavs have many other exits, they also use that exit quite commonly. Now, if you're in a group, this changes a lot because a group has a big advantage in Factory as a lot of PvP, but if there's 2 or 3 of you, there are only another 2 players, let's say, so you have a really good control of the map. Be careful of the boss Tagilla, which causes a lot of problem, but if you don't encounter Tagilla, you should be fine. So Lighthouse has a lot of scav players on it. This is one of the most difficult maps to approach in Escape from Tarkov. The map is new, it's not brand new like Streets of Tarkov, but it's quite new, it's quite big, and it's not that easy to learn. There are a lot of snipers all over the place, so it's very difficult to navigate and to understand in which angle they might come at you, because that's the way in which the map is formed. There is a lot of higher tier loot on the map, which attracts a lot of players which come well equipped and ready to fight. The 7th map out of the 8 maps that I've got in this list, and you can imagine what the 8th one is, but the 7th one is Reserve. Our Reserve is really complex. You have difficult bosses, you have exits which are difficult to take. So you have the bunker exit, which means that you need to turn the switch on and then run over the other side, allow it in the bunker. You have a manhole exit, which basically you have to leave your back to use. Bunker area is very, very difficult to navigate, full of PvP, full of scav players towards the end of the raid. Reserve is, I think, one of the most difficult maps to actually exit with significant loot as PMC. Great map for a scav run, especially towards end of wipe. The higher tier loot locations are really all together in one place, which makes it more difficult to survive. This is where a lot of top tier players go and play. The 8th one is Labs. Labs is a special map. You need an actual special access key. I would suggest if this is your first few raids, you probably just want to sell that access key either on the flea market or to one of the vendors. I hope you enjoyed this list. Let me know in the comment section down below your list and where you would put Streets of Tarkov. This is Gio from Brigata Tarkov. See you in the next video. Subscribe if you enjoyed it and like. Thank you very much.